My life until 3 months ago followed a predictable rhythm. I owned a successful construction supply business, a testament to years of hard work, sleepless nights, and unwavering dedication. I had a loving wife and a wonderful stepdaughter, S, whom I'd raised as my own since she was 9. Then S announced her engagement. Initially, I was overjoyed. I wanted nothing more than to see her happy. But a casual conversation during a family dinner quickly shattered the illusion of familial harmony. "About $250,000, S announced, her gaze fixed on me when I inquired about their wedding budget. I nearly choked on my drink. $250,000? That's the ambition, she clarified, her voice hardening. Who's footing the bill? You are? I asked, still trying to process the audacity of her statement. Her expression hardened. You are. You own a business. You're well off. You can afford it. And what exactly makes you think I should? I countered, my voice calm but firm. Her tone turned sharp. You're my father. This is what parents do. I glanced at my wife, hoping for support, but she looked away, her gaze fixed on her plate. That silence hit me harder than any of S's accusations. I'm sorry, S, I said firmly, but I'm not selling my business or dipping into my savings for a wedding. I'll contribute something reasonable, but this is excessive. Her face flushed crimson. You're unbelievable. You raised me, and now you're acting like I'm not your daughter? The conversation quickly escalated, fueled by S's accusations of selfishness and my unwavering refusal to bow to her demands. My wife, to my utter dismay, sided with her, claiming I was being too harsh. She's our daughter, she pleaded. This is her dream wedding. Don't you want her to be happy? Not at the cost of my livelihood, I snapped. She's acting entitled, and you're enabling her. The argument ended in a tense silence, the air thick with unspoken resentments. I slept on the couch that night, the weight of their betrayal heavy on my chest. Over the next few weeks, the situation escalated. S launched a social media campaign painting me as an uncaring, neglectful father. Mutual friends and even distant relatives began contacting me, echoing S's accusations. One day, I arrived at my office to find a protest sign taped to the door. Deadbeat Dad. I knew S was behind it. This wasn't just about a wedding anymore. It was a calculated attack on my reputation and my business. I decided to take action. I hired a private investigator. I hadn't wanted to resort to such measures, but the constant barrage of attacks was taking a toll on my mental and emotional well-being. What I uncovered shocked me to the core. S and her fiancé, D, weren't just planning an extravagant wedding, they were already deep in debt. They had booked a luxury venue, hired celebrity-level vendors, and even ordered custom diamond-studded wedding favors. The bills were piling up, and they were desperate for someone to bail them out. Even worse, the investigator revealed that D had a history of failed business ventures and lawsuits, all stemming from elaborate scams targeting wealthy individuals. I felt sick. This wasn't just entitlement. It was a calculated scheme, a carefully orchestrated attempt to exploit my hard-earned success. I confronted my wife that night, laying out all the evidence. She broke down, admitting she knew some of it but had chosen to ignore the warning signs. When I asked if she had been giving S money behind my back, she hesitated, the silence a damning confession. The next day, I filed for divorce. S did not take the news kindly. She unleashed a torrent of accusations, claiming I had cheated on my wife and abused her. She even suggested I had illegal dealings in my business. I hired a lawyer and prepared to defend myself against her onslaught. Every accusation she hurled was met with cold, hard evidence, disproving her lies. When S filed a frivolous lawsuit claiming emotional distress, it was swiftly thrown out of court. But I wasn't done. I decided to hit them where it hurt. My lawyer helped me draft a cease and desist letter for the defamation and harassment. Simultaneously, I tipped off D's former victims about his current antics. Within weeks, lawsuits started piling up against D. His flashy lifestyle crumbled under the weight of legal fees and debt collectors. As for S, I cut her off completely. No financial support, no trust fund, nothing. She tried to rally family members against me, but when I shared the evidence of her and Dee's schemes, most sided with me. The few who didn't, I blocked. By the time S's wedding day arrived, it was a shadow of the extravagant affair she had envisioned. They ended up having a small courthouse ceremony with no guests. I wish I could say it brought me joy, but it didn't. It simply felt necessary. My wife and I finalized our divorce a month later. She moved in with S, and I haven't heard from either of them since. Do I regret it? No. Sometimes standing your ground means losing people you love, but at least I still have my business, my integrity, and my peace of mind. After the dust settled, I had to reevaluate everything: my life, my priorities, my sense of trust. Everything had been upended by the people I thought I could rely on. The house felt emptier and quieter at first. I'd catch myself expecting to hear my wife humming in the kitchen or S barging in to complain about something trivial. But it never happened. It wasn't the loneliness that got to me. It was the realization that I'd spent so many years ignoring red flags. Looking back, S had always shown signs of entitlement: her demands for the newest gadgets, her insistence on having her way during family trips. I had chalked it up to teenage behavior, never realizing it was a deeper, more insidious issue. My wife, in her attempt to maintain peace, had enabled S's behavior, brushing off her tantrums and siding with her in arguments. Now, that peace was gone, replaced by a newfound clarity. I focused on rebuilding my life. I expanded my business, reconnecting with old clients and investing in new projects. I even started mentoring young entrepreneurs, sharing my story to help them avoid the pitfalls of mixing family and business. As for S&D, they became cautionary tales in our community. Their fall from grace was a hot topic for months, a reminder of what happens when entitlement goes unchecked. If there's one thing I've learned from all this, it's that standing your ground isn't easy, especially when it involves people you care about. But sometimes it's the only way to protect yourself and what you've built. Entitlement is a dangerous thing, and enabling it only makes it worse. So, if you're ever faced with a choice between your principles and someone else's demands, choose your principles. You might lose some people along the way, but you'll gain something far more valuable: self-respect. If you enjoyed this wild ride of family drama, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Who knows? Next time I might share the story about how my neighbor tried to steal my driveway. Stay tuned.